Ah, yes, we do. The rush hour. No Jim. We just got Billy. We got Joey, and we got Nath. And can you believe it, boys? We are still waiting for a AFL decision on round one. It is 6:04. 24 hours to go before round one, and we've heard nothing, Joe.
Yes, hello, Bill. G'day, Brownie. Yeah, we heard about 20 minutes ago that it was looking like it was going to be on. The word was about 70% chance that it was going to play, and then we're just getting now tweets saying the AFL has another planned teleconference with CEOs tonight. So that was from Daniel Cherney from The Age. So we don't really know, Bill. We don't know. I thought yesterday it was off.
Yep.
Now it looks like it's on. We welcome Nathan Brown to the rush hour. Brownie, have you got any insight?
I reckon I've got somebody inside the AFL that's been giving me some pretty good information.
Here
It's
we
been
go.
on, it's been off, but I think my man is telling me that it is going ahead. They're going to play round one. They need to play round one. It's been set up. The schools aren't cancelling, Bill. There's a lot of things that it's safe for the players to play. The players want to play it. The AFL clubs want it to play. Everybody seems like they want to play football. And I reckon the community needs it as well. I mean, obviously there's no fans, there's no crowd there, but to sit down this weekend and watch the football, we can't wait for it, Bill.
Just wait, because we've got to get a sponsor for you. But g'day, Rabsy.
I was listening to Billy Brownless. That was all.
Nobody listens to Billy Brownless, even when they meet him.
Is that Neil Mitchell again?
Oh, right, eh?
Come on, Neil. Now, time for this.
Now on Triple M's Rush Hour.
What about that?
This is the Midweek Rub.
This one is good.
When you need a tool, call Coates Hire on 13 15 52.
Triple M rocks footy.
That's it, midweek rub, of course. We got Joey and we got Nath. Welcome again, Nath. Great to have you on board. How's your little summer been?
Are we doing it again, are we?
No, I'm not asking about what you just went through, the rant before, but how you going?
It's been a great summer, Bill. Been sitting by the pool. We've got the 4 kids at home. Got a couple of lilos out. So it's the best hand I've been in many, many years. So when you used to play AFL football, you used to go out, you used to train in the summer, you used to look fit, you look really good. Yeah. So yeah, tan, but I haven't had that for a while. Been looking white and a bit pasty and a bit overweight like Joey.
And Bill, of course, Damo's not here because he'd be getting ready potentially for a press conference. There's bigger things going on.
And we
at
put
AFL
calls
House.
in there, of course. And if something does happen and it breaks in, we'll break straight into it.
We'll be all over it.
But Damo hopefully will come on at some stage over the next hour.
Very good.
This is his grand final sort of stuff,
Oh,
Damo.
yeah,
He
he
lives
loves
with this
it.
sort of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. His
Him and
eyes
TJ
fog up.
and Julian De Stoop and those guys down there. Steve
Morris.
old statement Stevens
Yeah.
will be
Chompers.
down there.
Chompers.
Have you ever noticed that Mark Stevens gives out more statements of what he does questions? He'll throw somebody a statement and expect them to answer it, and they look at him and go, "Is that a statement or a question?"
Will Mark Robinson be there asking some really good questions?
No.
Now, all right, let's talk. We're playing. Let's say we're going to
we
play.
presume it's going ahead.
We
Brandy's
presume.
called it. Brandy said it's going to be on the footy this weekend.
Tomorrow night, Richmond v Carlton. What are you thinking? What are you hearing?
I can't wait for it. Carlton are going to be a lot better this year, but their pre-season, Joey, hasn't been as good as what we would have hoped for. But they have some injury concerns down there. But it's going to be hard to stop Richmond this year. I think they haven't lost a lot. Brandon Ellis has gone out of that side. But, Tom Lynch fit again. Jack Rewalt's going to be fit. That's an amazing forward line when you throw in Dustin Martin. And those young players like Chol are going to get better. There's so many young players rolling through that forward end that are just going to get better. And I see Richmond getting better and better this year. They're going to be very hard to beat.
And, of course, you'll be calling the game for Triple M with Barry Denner tomorrow night. And I'll be up in the back row with Daisy Thomas. So it's going to be fascinating calling a game with no crowd.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna
I
have
hope
to...
you've got something up your sleeve to try and make it entertaining because it's probably going to be the most bizarre game that you've ever been a part of, I would have thought, for sure.
Yeah, it will be. And I'm looking forward to it because obviously nobody wants to see football with no crowd there. But, you've got to try and make positives out of it. And what we'll try and do at Triple M, like we always do, is have it as entertaining as possible. There's not going to be any crowd there, so we're going to have to sort of create some atmosphere, but the players will be able to do that for us.
What about Marlon Pickett? Plays his first game in a grand final, 100,000.
That's right.
His second game AFL football in front of no one.
0.
So he averages 50,000 a game. That is unbelievable, isn't it? Really? What about
That's a positive way to look at it, Bill.
David Teague has confirmed a couple of very good ins. Joey?
Jack Martin and Jack Nunes, a couple of players that will make their debut for Carlton. I think that strengthens Carlton's lineup. They're both very good players. I rate Jack Nunes. He's had a strong pre-season. Jack Martin's the class.
Oh, yeah.
Probably just need another elite inside mid, don't they? I think Sam Walsh, I said it on the show a few weeks ago, didn't I? He could potentially win a Brownlow. and I'm meaning in the next year or two.
He's consistent in the Joel Selwood mould,
he's
isn't
that
he?
good.
Year or two?
Yeah, he averaged 25 disposals, Bill, in his first
Are
year.
we recording?
They're going to be good,
Bill,
Carlton.
Bill, I think he could average 30 touches this season.
No, of course he
Now,
can.
I know that might not win a Brownlow, but he'll be up there. He'll be in Brownlow contention this year or next
I
year.
hope he does, but that's a big
He's as
call.
good as Judd. Judd won a Brownlow in his third year.
He's going with big calls early, Joey. But I like those ins. I like Jack Martin. He's a very good player. And what they both do is they run and carry and they use the football. Carlton have got a lot of players last year that turned the footy over a lot. They had no problem with getting the football, but that's what they needed. They needed some class through the midfield. Nunes is a very long use of the ball. I'd be interested to see if they play him on the wing or at halfback.
I think they'll play him on the wing, and Richmond should win this one comfortably, won't they? They
yes.
should. What about the match of the round for mine, the one Friday night, the Western Bulldogs Collingwood? How are you seeing that one? Because that is a toss of the coin.
Well, I think just because it's being played at Marvel Stadium that the Dogs have the advantage here. They are quick. Their pre-season's been really good. They've got so many runners. They bat deep in the midfield. I think if you've got a really good midfield, it is a beautiful place to play Marvel because it is so fast. You can use the footy and you can get from end to end very quickly. So you put more damage on other sides than what you do at the MCG. I think you get better value for your runners and better value for your kicks. I think
forward
Collingwood
line.
are going to
What
be
about
top.
the forward line, the doggies?
Yeah,
Now.
I'll get to the forward line, Bill. I'm just still talking about the Bulldogs and
No,
how
you
they're
went
going
to
to beat Collingwood.
You were going to go to Collingwood.
I
then.
wasn't going to go to Collingwood. I was going to talk about the fact that Collingwood, I think, will play top 4 this year, but they've got the Dogs early in the season. It's going to be hard to beat them this year. But their forward end is going to be very good. Norton not there, obviously. Josh Bruce is a good player. A lot of pressure on Shaki this year to stand up and become the player they expect him to be. He's had an okay pre-season, I think. But with Norton there, if they play good footy with Bruce, Shaki needs to be able to perform. Otherwise, he probably won't get a game.
And just out of that game, some news that Tyler Brown will make his debut for Collingwood. So he will play with his brother Callum Brown.
That's
Yeah,
great.
good.
Yeah, so
Well
Tyler
done to
Brown. Gavin Brown.
and
produced-
Mrs. Brown.
He was my favourite player as a kid. I used to break for Collingwood. Gavin Brown and Darren Mullane, my two favourites as a kid.
Ooh,
So
mate.
Tyler Brown and also another debutant that's been announced, Tom Green for the GWS Giants will make his debut against the Cats on Saturday.
He's a bull. isn't
He
he?
is a bull,
big boy.
He's like he's the next Paddy Cripps. So
He was a bit
great
like
to watch
you
him.
when
Well
you
done,
played.
dude.
You're a big bull.
Gavin Brown and Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Brown's boys. How good's that?
Ah,
It's
very
one of
good.
the great shows. Though. If
That's
you
a
watch
good
that, she's funny.
It's a shocking
No, I
show.
haven't seen
I love it. Do you? Don't you? Like Mrs. Brown's boys, one of the great
Never
shows.
seen it.
It's so bad.
You got too much time on your hand if you're watching Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Well, that's your mum,
Hey?
Mrs. Brown.
You do have a lot of time on your hands, though, don't you?
I do.
What do you
wait
do
if
during
we
the day?
get-
When you're not here on radio, what do you do during the day?
when you wait till we get locked down.
He'll do even more of it.
Take a break there, Rebs.
More with the Big Rub up next. It's the Rush Hour, Triple M.
13, 15, 52 for Coates Hire. Thank you very much. And Joey's here, and so is Nath Brown. What else, Nath? What are you hearing around the world? Some other news, please, for us.
Well, the horse racing world we're going to
Yes.
talk about because Alligator Blood, which has probably been the sensation of this year so far, won a whole heap of races, has tested, not tested positive, but shown an irregular swab from the race back in January when it won a big race, being the Magic Millions over 1,400. It's been tested positive in that swab to a thing called altrogenist, and that is to control the cycles of fillies and mares, but it can't be used by male horses, obviously, which Alligator Blood is. So I heard something on radio before that David Van Dyke, who is the trainer, which is quite funny because his actual original name was David,
David
Hayes.
Hayes.
So he
David
thought that
Hayes.
I can't be in this industry with David Hayes' name. So
He went
I
with
changed it to
Van
David
Van Dyke.
Yeah, good name to change to, wasn't it? You reckon
No.
he's sitting around one day going, "Oh, David Hayes, what can I do? What can I?" Van Dyke,
Van
that sounds
Dyke.
pretty good.
Hey.
You know, that sounds pretty cool. But if it is shown to have that in its system, they're going to be in some pretty big trouble.
Is that the lady off the great movie?
Mrs. Brown's boys.
No, not Mrs. Brown's boys.
You're not giving us much there,
Van
mate, to
Dyke.
work with.
Before you go with something, you've got to know what you're talking about.
I'll come back to it. Keep going.
What about some other news, guys, around that happened today? This afternoon it was announced the V8 supercars have postponed all racing until June.
Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Was she-
What's her name that looked after
I
him in the house?
No, Sound of
Can
Music.
you look that up, Jill, please?
Oh,
Or ring in now.
Bill, Mrs.
Yep.
Brown's boys, Sound of Music. What do you do during the week? Seriously. And the NBL, we know about the grand final series got cancelled. Wildcats are up 2-1 in that grand final series. The Sydney Kings didn't want to play. They didn't want to fly to Perth for game 4. And they felt that there was a promise that no winner would be awarded if the series was cancelled. But now the NBL are considering the decision. The Perth Wildcats believe, hang on, we're up 2-1.
Fair enough.
We should be given the title, the championship, and that's going to be decided within the next 24 hours.
What
So
about
that
this?
is fascinating.
What about the series? Perth win in Sydney.
Yep.
And remember, no crowd.
Yeah, home crowd advantage is gone.
Sydney win in Perth.
Yep.
Perth win back in Sydney, and now they're back in Perth. So 3 of the 5 games have been played. That's more than half. So I reckon Perth should win.
So I want
this.
to ask you, Brownie, what do you reckon in the AFL that means for, say, the home ground advantage? Well, in regards to, could you give a goals difference comparison? So Melbourne are going to West Coast on Sunday. We know West Coast crowd. That's absolutely a huge home ground advantage. Does that now, I presume it makes sense, give Melbourne more of a chance because they're not going to be playing in front of a hostile crowd?
It absolutely does. And I think earlier on in the season, being round one, it's always a better time to play, I think, interstate than it is maybe in June or July when you've got some injuries, where you've got a few tired players, because it is harder to go over there and get up in a June, July, August setting. So you go over there early, you try and raid the closet over there because there's not going to be any crowd there.
Yep.
The same thing for Fremantle. I think Fremantle's form over the pre-season has been good. So too has Essendon's. But I think Fremantle coming here, I like the way they're setting up under Justin Longmuir. So I think they're a big chance to beat the
And
Bombers as well.
they've got a very good plan to beat Essendon
Have
too,
they?
Fremantle.
What
Absolutely.
have you worked out for them, Joe? What about the Cats? They have to travel up to the Giant Stadium
I
with
don't
that big
think
crowd.
that's going to matter. Not the way the Cats have been for in the.
I think the
March.
Giants are the best bet of the weekend. I think if you're in those tipping competitions and you're only going to take one team this week, I would certainly be taking GWS.
Yeah, and the other team that I really like in round one
Richmond?
that'll surprise a few people. Richmond's obvious, Bill. I think Hawthorn can beat Brisbane Lions at the MCG. I've just watched Hawthorn's Marsh series, and I think they've got something up their sleeve. I've got Clarko, and I think they'll stun Brisbane round one.
I think Port Adelaide are going to be really good this year. I think they're back in the finals race. I think what they're building there, and we've already heard Ken Hinkley say a few weeks ago, we are coming as a football club, but it's a danger game round one against Gold Coast, who, with a lot of young players, always start seasons well. They started last season well.
Yeah.
They've been very good in the pre-season. I give Gold Coast a chance. I don't think they're going to win, but this game will be a lot closer than what people think.
Especially up there. They're a big chance
They
up
are.
there.
And as I said, when they're fresh early in the season, the
Yeah.
young players, they're not sore and worn down. They're up and about.
What were they last year?
They were two. They won their
2-2.
first,
2-1.
and then they just got beaten by St Kilda. It was a draw, was it? Or they just lost by a
They
point?
started the year well, then it fell off a cliff, as it does with young
first 5
players.
rounds,
And
though.
that's going to be the case for another 12, probably 24 months for the Gold Coast Suns. But if they can keep that playing list together, I think they've got a future.
I know, just on the sports bet, of course, the elite average games.
Yep.
Good ads. And we love, and Jim's not here, so I can
yes.
say it.
Yeah.
Very, very good hosting by Jim, of course. But they're going well, the ads. I
Very
like
witty,
them.
those sports bet ads. They do a great job.
They do a very good job. They came to me with a list of commentators at the start when they were putting it all together, and Brayshaw's name wasn't on there. And I said, look, you got to have a look at Jim. And they said, we're just wondering whether we can afford him.
Yeah,
and I said,
exactly.
Well, I'll go and have a chat to him. And I don't want to divulge what Jim got, but it was a pretty good payday. And wasn't a thank you come my way yet.
Wasn't it double what you were asking?
Yeah, he did even better than what I suggested.
And then did you get paid to? You're the actor with the wheelie bins, aren't you? Just wearing,
Joey!
isn't that you? No, isn't that just you with a fake?
He did a points bet ad with Andy Marr.
Yeah. Which was good. We don't mean.
Was it?
No, it was very good. It was. Well, Sports Bet are our sponsors here, of course, and do a really good job. Everything all right there, Nate? Your job and everything?
There's no
Everything's
sport. There's
going
no
right at the
sport
moment. It makes
races,
it hard
Brownie.
to bet on any sport when there's no sport being played at the moment. So we're really loading up on esports at the moment. We are very much into esports. And
What is another obscure sport that maybe people are betting on a little bit more? Is there something like the darts all of a sudden getting more? Or they're probably cancelled as well. Is there any other sports
There's
that
not
are
much being played at the moment, Joey. Not much at all. So esports is one of those things that's being played at the moment. Elections. So obviously
People are
elections
voting.
are still going to go on. So people are trying to get the elections. People are still betting on reality TV. So a lot of people think they know the inside gossip on
German
reality
Big Brother's
TV.
on at the moment. You can vote on the German Big Brother.
They had no idea about the
No,
coronavirus.
the coronavirus.
What
They had
about
to break the news.
The V8 supercars, they've been cancelled. They've cancelled their next 3 races in Tassie, Auckland and Perth, so they're off. So it's all happening, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What are we going to watch?
I don't know what we're going to. What are Mrs. Brown's boys for you?
Oh, yes,
By the sounds
please.
of it. Oh, everybody.
And the Sound of Music.
Oh, wow.
The Von Trapp family, not Van Dyke, by the way.
They're related. They are related in some way. Von Trapp, that's it.
We have got a little bit of mail before Brownie goes. The AFL CEOs are going to be on a conference call at 6:30 p.m. Now, what that might mean is the commission have made their decision,
Yep.
and now they're relaying it first to all the club CEOs before they announce it publicly. So we'll see if we can get some inside info, but maybe it means there is a decision that's been made,
8
and now
minutes.
the AFL have just got to let all the club CEOs know. So we'll keep everyone informed.
Going to give you a Smokey this year for the Brownlow, Bill.
Righto, I'm writing it down.
Now, everybody thinks that the Bulldogs are going to be great again this year,
Yes.
and they're going to be better than what they were last year. Everybody's talking the Bont up. He had 22 votes last year. Jack McRae also had 22 votes last year. Now, Jack McRae doesn't get tagged like the Bont does. He gets 35, 40 disposals every week. Now the umpires are starting to notice Jack McRae. I think he is a great Smokey for the Brownlow
What
this year.
price
Love
is
it.
he at Sportsbet?
34s at the moment.
Love it, Brownie.
What do
Love
you
it.
like, Joey?
I told
Smokey?
you, Sam Walsh. No, I don't think he can win the Brownlow. But look, I think one of the big five win it for me. I can't go past Fife, Cripps, Martin, Dangerfield. One of them's going to win it for sure.
Gone out in a limb. Well done.
Well,
No,
one of
good.
those five are going to win it.
We'll take a break. Thank you, Joey. No, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Bill.
Midweek break. Good on you, buddy. See you
Coat
Sunday.
tire?
Sunday footy show.
Sunday footy show. Big Chompers is back. Damo, Kane Corns will be upsetting people.
Oh, the skeleton. Thanks to
Coat Tire. That was the midweek rub. Rush Hour, Triple M.